Looking to integrate technology into your teaching practices? Find out how you can combine technology and education through the SAMR model. This video will break down each level of SAMR and provide some considerations when using the model. Let's begin. Developed by Dr. Ruben Puntadera, the SAMR model provides a framework for understanding how technology can be used in education. There are 4 levels: Substitution, Augmentation, Modification, and Redefinition. Each level depicts a progression in the way technology can transform teaching and learning. The Substitution and Augmentation levels enhance the learning experience, while the Modification and Redefinition levels transform it. To showcase how SAMR works, we will use the sample task of writing a report. Before implementing technology, this traditionally would have been done by putting pen to paper. Using SAMR, this task can evolve to become more engaging and efficient to complete. In the substitution level, technology acts as a direct substitute with no functional improvement. At this level, the emphasis is on replacing existing methods without changing the underlying task, learning process, or learning outcome. Let's go back to our report writing task. At substitution, we can ask our learners to use a digital word processor like offline Microsoft Word, instead of using a pen and paper. As a result, we have substituted the method of writing the report, and in doing so, have made the task more convenient to complete. It's easier to draft and edit a typed out report, and the formatting also allows for greater legibility. We can see that at this level, the underlying task of writing a report hasn't changed. Technology is used as a tool of convenience rather than an agent of transformation. Moving on to the augmentation level, technology also acts as a substitute, but this time, there are functional improvements. Technology enhances the learning experience by adding features or capabilities that weren't previously possible with the original method. For our report writing task, we can still use word processors as our way of implementing technology. At this level, our learners not only can type out rather than write their report, but they can also make use of features to self-check and improve their work. For example, tools such as spell check, grammar suggestions, thesaurus, and citations. Learners can also use word processors to embed hyperlinks to relevant resources or multimedia elements such as images to uplift their text. At augmentation, the underlying task of writing a report still hasn't changed. However, using technology has not only made the task more efficient, but also more engaging and informative. We'll now head over to our transformation levels. Starting off with modification, where technology enables tasks to be redesigned significantly, creating cooperative and dynamic learning experiences. Going back to our report writing task, we can modify it by asking learners to use collaborative cloud-based tools, such as Google Docs. The task then evolves from a solo project to a joint venture, where learners work in groups to write a report in real time. They can also make use of features such as comments to peer review each other's work. In addition, they can embed interactive and engaging elements into their document, like videos, interactive charts, and links to live data. As a result, a once individual static project has transformed into a collaborative, dynamic, and living piece of work. At this level, technology has greatly changed the writing process to allow for greater interaction between learners and increases the potential for ongoing feedback and improvement. Finally, we arrive at the redefinition level, where technology enables the creation of entirely new tasks that were previously impossible. For our report writing task example, we can transform it by asking our learners to write and publish interactive web pages or blogs. Using these formats, they can include multimedia elements such as audio narration, video interviews, interactive maps, and user polls. The reports also have a wider reach on an online platform, where students can now receive feedback from experts or peers from around the world via comments or live discussions. We can even extend the scope of collaboration, using translation tools and video conferencing to enable learners to work with classes from a different country. At the redefinition level, the boundaries of the original task dissolve and are replaced by a creative and collaborative experience. Using the SAMR model can transform learning tasks at varying degrees. We can change individual work to collaborative projects, move from static written documents to dynamic multimedia experiences, and even evolve from teacher-centered assessments to audience-driven feedback. As we move through each level of the model, there are important considerations to note. First, the model is not a linear progression with a fixed endpoint, where you must always end up working at the modification or redefinition levels. The aim of using the model is to integrate technology in a way that best supports you and your learning objectives. You can move up and down levels depending on your learning goals, the resources available, and the context. Next, SAMR levels are not static. Once you have made changes according to a certain level, be on the lookout for how you can improve and grow to the next stage. If you are working on the substitution or augmentation levels, consider laying groundwork for how you can revisit the task again using a higher level of the model. Continuous improvement is key. And finally, you don't have to go through each level in one go. The best way to use the model is to select one level and practice. Technology has the potential to transform traditional tasks into opportunities for deeper learning, creativity, and connection. By thoughtfully applying the SAMR model, we can design learning experiences that not only enhance students' digital skills, but also empower them as creators in a digital world. Want more learning tips and strategies? Visit interserv.com.au today.